Hello everyone. Let's start our today's topic. Today we will learn database management system. First of all, we will learn concepts of database management system. In this topic, we will learn about the basic concepts of the database that will enable us to cultivate a better understanding of the database management system and the relational database management system RDBMS. We will cover the topic concepts of database management system and creating and using tables in these topics. Database. What is a database? Database is a collection of data which is stored in a systematic manner, that is in the form of tables, so that we can retrieve and manipulate the information quickly and efficiently from a large of data. Got it? Means the data is stored in the form of rows and columns. A database consists of one or more tables. A table holds information in the form of rows and columns as we know it. Okay. Rows. What is a rows? Rows are referred to as records. We can see in the picture 1, 2, 3. All these are rows. Means the data is represented here horizontally. We can say it is in the form of rows. In this picture we have total 4 rows. First one is for heading and 1, 2, 3. 3 rows represent the data, stored data. A record is a set of related information that belongs to a particular object. Means rows are known as referred as record. For example, in the students table, the data of related fields of student such as roll number, name, marks, English marks, Hindi marks, math, we can see here, is called a record. A single record is also known as tuple. Means we row number 1's record. 1 name Sandeep, English marks 89, Hindi marks 79, maths marks 60. It is known as tuple. Columns are referred to as fields, and in this figure the columns are row number, name, marks English, marks Hindi, marks math. These are known as, means vertically data is known as columns. A field describes a specific property of a record. That is why a field is also known as attribute. Attribute means the property of any column. An attribute is a piece of information about an object. For example, row number is an attribute or field in the student table. A set of characters that represents a valid value is known as data. Data, we can see row number 3 is data, name Dipti is data, 90 is data, 88 is data, 70 is data. uh, Database management system. Before it, a database is basically used by developers, administrators, and end users. Developer, who are developers? Developers design and develop a database. Administrators keep track on database and check authorization to provide it to access the users. And users are the group of people who really use the database. We can say we are the users, students are the user, teachers are the users. Database management system. The database management system is a computerized record keeping system or a software that enables us to create, store, modify, and extract information from a database. We can say it allows different user applications program to access the same database concurrently. The main function of DBMS is to provide the users with efficient and reliable method of data storage, modification, and retrieval. In addition, it saves time, efforts, and reduces the chances of errors creeping into the database to a great extent. Data can be organized into two types: flat file or relational. Data is stored in a single table with the plain text format. The fields in the record are separated using delimiters such as tabs and commas. It is usually suitable for less amount of data. MS Excel or Calc is the example of flat file database. Relational database. Data is stored in multiple tables and can be accessed by establishing a relationship between the tables by using a common field. It is suitable for medium to large amount of data. Advantages of database management system. Enforcement of data standard means a database always holds data in a standard format. The standard may relate to the naming of data, format of data, structure of data. Data availability. The data of a database can be available anytime and anywhere. DBMS enables multi-user access to information that is available remotely and 24 into 7 hours, we can say. Reduced data redundancy. Data redundancy occurs when the same piece of data is duplicated unnecessarily multiple times in a database. The chance of data duplicity are very high in the database approach. Ideally, all the information is kept at only one place and shared among the users. There is no need to maintain a separate copy of the same data over again. Minimize data inconsistency. When the redundancy is not controlled, it leads to data inconsistency. Data inconsistency occurs when the same data exists in different formats in multiple tables. For example, in the hospital database, if you change the address of a patient in a table and do not update the same address in the other related tables, then it will result in inaccurate information retrieval of the patient, as only one table will have the correct data while all the others will have false data. Hence, this is data inconsistency. It causes the hospital staff to check multiple records to get the correct patient access. It happens because the same data residing in multiple places have not been updated. The use appropriate consists within the database is a solution to prevent data inconsistency. Data concurrency. Data concurrency means many user can access and modify the shared data at the same time. मीन्स एक टाइम पे सिंगल टाइम में मैनी यूजर्स बहुत सारे यूजर्स इकट्ठे जो हैं सेम फाइल को सेम डाटा को यूज जो है वो कर सकते हैं. Ensure data security. Sometimes a database may contain confidential data which needs to be protected from any unauthorized users. The database management system provides security to sensitive data by performing authorization checks and enforcing selective access to the user. Means only the authorized persons can access the file. Means who has access can use the file, others are not. Backup and recovery management. There are various strategies and procedures that are used to protect database against data loss and the process of reconstructing the data in a case a hard disk crash occurs. अब अगर आपकी हार्ड डिस्क से डाटा क्रैश हो जाता है वो अलग एग्जाम्पल है, लेकिन the example we can understand it with the example. For example, in case of threat to database like power failure or network failure, the recovery management feature recovers the data. Got it? The management features, the administrator can recover the data. Backup management refers to data safety and integrity, like backing up all the document files on a disk. A database contains a specific structure to store the data. Different types of database management system. We have different types of database management system like relational database management system, network database management system, hierarchical database management system, object oriented database management system. Now we have database server. There are the dedicated computer. These are the dedicated computer that store the data in a database which can be accessed through DBMS and related software. The database servers are based on the client server architecture. The user send their request to the server through an interface known as front end. Another server known as the backup process the request and provides the required data. Means server is responsible to hold all the data. All the data is stored on the server, and the client computers are dependent on the server computer and fetch their data from the server computer. Relational Database Management System, RDBMS. Relational Database Management System is a type of the DBMS software that uses the relational database model for its database. A relational model enables the user to store data in several tables. It has the capability to retrieve data from the different related tables uh, to produce the answers to questions that cannot be answered from individual tables alone. These tables are related to one another in such a way that whenever there is a need, the data can be joined by establishing a relationship between tables and information can be accessed from them at once. Okay, means the data is stored in many tables. Okay, and we can get the information from all the tables consequently. Got it? It is very convenient to us to get data from many tables. Simultaneously we can get the data from many tables. Concept of keys. A key plays an important role in relational database. It is used for identifying unique records from a table. It also establishes a relationship among the tables. Relationship are links that associate a field in one table with a field in another table. First of all, we will discuss about primary key. A primary key is a set of one of more fields that uniquely identifies each record in a table. मीन्स जिसकी वैल्यू को हम रिपीट नहीं कर सकते, यूनिक वैल्यू जिस फील्ड के अंदर होते, we can set the same field as a primary key. It doesn't contain any duplicate data. A table can have only one primary key. Every table has one primary key. The value in the primary field is different from every tuple and thus helps in uniquely identifying the record. Means its value we can't repeat. Composite primary key. A composite key or composite primary key refers to a combination of two or more attributes that uniquely identify the records in a table. It may be a candidate key or primary key. We can consider the example. अभी हम यहाँ पर देख सकते हैं customer ID and product ID. Both are we can say customer ID is a it has unique values. Okay, means composite key is customer ID and product ID. We can say it as record can be retrieved uniquely by using both the fields. Through both the field we can retrieve the records uniquely. Got it? If we take it individually, it doesn't guarantee any uniqueness. We can say customer in a customer ID 001001 is repeated here, and product ID P001 and P001 is repeated here. Got it? So we can say both the keys are composite key. The group of keys composite key. Foreign key. A foreign key is a field or set of field that is used to establish a relation between the two tables. In other words, it consists of one or more fields whose value matches with a primary key in another table. Basically, a foreign key in one table is used to point at a primary key in another table. It acts as a cross reference between the tables. Got it? For example, consider the student and students percentage table. Two tables are here. One table is student table and another is student percent table. The row number field of student percent table points to the row number field in the student table. The row number field in the primary key in the students table and the foreign key in the students percentage table. We have done composite key. Again listen it, composite key. In this table, column customer id alone cannot become a primary key, as primary products can be purchased by the same customer. Thus the same customer can have multiple entries. Similarly, column product id alone cannot become a primary key, as the same product can be purchased by different customers. So composite key is customer id and product id as record can be retrieved uniquely by using both the tables. Got it, student? The next key we have candidate key. A table might have one or more fields that may uniquely identify the record tuples. Such fields are called candidate keys, as they are eligible to become a primary key. A table can have more than one candidate key. For example, we have a student table with the fields suppose ID, department ID, DOB, first name, and ID assigned as a primary key. When the field department ID and DOB can be considered as a candidate key that will be uniquely identifying a tuple in a table. मीन्स जैसे हम अपनी क्लास का एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, क्लास के अंदर क्लास इंचार्जेस के पास जो रिकॉर्ड होता है स्टूडेंट एडमिशन नंबर एंड स्टूडेंट रोल नंबर, बोथ द फील्ड्स हैविंग द यूनिक वैल्यू. Okay, and the class teacher set the student admission number as a primary key. Then the student roll number field is a candidate key. Database object. There are four main objects in any database: table, queries, forms, and reports. These objects are discussed as tables. Tables store the complete data in a structured manner in the form of rows and columns. Every table has a finite number of columns, but it can have infinite rows. Got it? Elements of a table: field. We have discussed. All the columns in a table are called fields. Records. The rows in a table are known as records. Data. A set of characters that represents a valid value is known as data. Okay, and we can see in the picture queries. Query is like a question. As the name suggests, queries are used to ask questions from the database to retrieve records or data based on certain criteria. They are also used to perform actions such as insert, delete, update, etc. on the data depending upon the criteria specified by the user. Means when we put a questions, we can say it is a query. Query is like a question. Form. A form has an attractive interface that accepts data from the user and insert it in the corresponding table on query. We can also use these forms to update any record in table or query. Reports. Reports are used to display the selected data in a printable format. Means we can represent the data in a printable form through the reports. These are used for decision making and analyzing the data by the organizations. Starting MS Access. How to start? Similar to other application, we can start the MS Access. Click on the start button, then all program will be there. Then select the Microsoft Office and click on Microsoft Access Office. Okay, which version we have installed in our computer system. MS Access interface. The elements of MS Access windows. Backstage view. We should view the picture. Backstage view, it contains information and commands that apply to the entire database. We can open the backstage view by clicking on the file tab. Quick access toolbar. Quick access toolbar, it contains the buttons to access the commands that you frequently use. Undo, redo, and save buttons are a quick access toolbar, and it is available at the left hand side at the top of the window. Title bar, it displays the name of the current document and application. Navigation pane, it displays a list of new or existing database objects such as tables, queries, forms, and reports. Document tab, it tab Displays the open database object, the which database object we have opened here, ribbon. It is located just below the title bar. It has two parts, tabs and groups. Creating database. How to create a database? To create a database in MS Access, we need to follow some steps, and the steps are: open Microsoft Access. Okay, we can see the dialog box. Means we should shade backstage view. ये हमारा backstage view है. Click on the blank database option under the available template category. The blank database option facilitates us to create a database from the scratch. This is a good option if we have very specific design requirements or existing data that we need to accommodate. The blank backstage task pane appears on the right side that promotes us to create a file. Specify the file name in the field name text box. Means we will type our file name. We want to create means which name we want to give to our database. Okay, if required we can change the location of the file and clicking on the browser button next to the file name. Means browse button पर click करके हम अपने database की location where we want to locate the database, we can select the location. Click on the create button. This will create the database with an empty table. The by default name of the table is table 1. Creating table. How to create tables? We can create table in an existing database by any of the following method: using design view, using datasheet view. Creating tables in design view. Okay, in the design view we can create a table from scratch by defining the field names and the field types. To create the table, click on the table design options in the table group of the create tab. Means first of all we have to click on the create tab. Under the create tab we have table group, और टेबल ग्रुप के अंदर हमारे पास टेबल डिजाइन ऑप्शन है. क्लिक ऑन द टेबल डिजाइन ऑप्शन. ओके, when we click on the table design options, the window will be open. Okay, adding fields in the design view. For each field in the table, type a name in the field name column and then press the tab key to move to the data type column. By default, text data type appears in this column, but we can change. Suppose we are entering students row number, student marks, then we need to change the type of data. Means here we are entering numeric data, so we set it number data type. Got it? In the description column we can type a description for each field. Like suppose we have entered row number and we have set the data type number. In description we can write row number of the student. Select the save button present on the quick access toolbar, or we can save the our data through the file menu, or we can use the shortcut key, that is Control plus S. Then click on OK button. Creating tables in datasheet view. Now the next view is datasheet view. In the datasheet view we can enter, edit or update the data of the created tables. This view doesn't allow us to design the table structure from scratch. To work in the datasheet view, follow the given steps. We need to follow some steps. Select a table that you have created in design view. A table appears. Enter the data in the table in the same way that we enter in spreadsheet. Okay, and another way, click on create tab, table option, then tables group. Okay, a table appears that has an empty row and the cursor is placed in the first empty cell in the click to add column. Access automatically creates the first field called ID. Okay, by default the first field is here ID, and the data type of the ID field is set to auto number. Auto number 1 2 3 अपने आप ही auto number वहाँ पर होता है. We need to start typing to enter data by selecting the empty field. Okay, click to add पे क्लिक करेंगे और empty field पर हमने क्या करना, अपना डाटा जो है वो डालना शुरू कर देना है. द वैल्यू 1 अपीयर्स इन द आईडी, आईडी के अंदर न्यूमेरिक ऑटो नंबर है, ये 1 2 3 से शुरू होगा. वी कैन चेंज द नेम ऑफ द फील्ड बाय डबल क्लिकिंग ऑन इट. मीन जो हमारा फील्ड 1 फील्ड 2 आएगा, इफ यू वांट टू चेंज the heading of our field, we can change by double clicking on field 1. And we can see here two options are here. First of all, entering data in data sheet with the second entering data after changing the field name. पहले वाले में हमारे पास आया फील्ड 1 है, और सेकंड वाले में हमने क्या किया हुआ है, यहाँ पर फील्ड नेम को चेंज एस नंबर एड्रेस. डबल क्लिक करेंगे जैसे फील्ड 1 पर हमारा जो फील्ड 1 कर्सर एक्टिवेट होगा, and we can change the field name. Data types. Every relational database stores the data in a table. Each table consists of fields, and every field has its own set of properties. They describes the characteristics and behavior of data. Characteristics और behavior को ये describe करते हैं. The most important property of a field is its data type. Data type ये होते हैं जैसे टेक्स्ट है, साइज इसमें होगा अप टू 255 करेक्टर्स तक का डाटा हम ले सकते हैं. टेक्सचुअल वैल्यू इसके अंदर आएगी. नंबर के अंदर न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू 16 बाइट्स डाटा स्टोर कर सकते हैं. मेमो, it is used to store a large quantity of data that can be text or numbers, okay, or up to 535 characters we can store here. Date and time, it store 8 bytes. It is used to store the date and time. Currency, it is used to store currency values. The calculation can be performed on this data type. 15 digit to the left of the decimal point and up to 4 digit to the right of the decimal point data we can store under the currency data type. Yes या no, yes या no is used true or false. 1 bit data we can store here. OLE, it is used to embed an object created in another application such as word document, excel, spreadsheet. कहीं दूसरी एप्लीकेशन से हमने कोई फाइल को अटैच करना है. 2 GB data we can store here. Hyperlink, we can store links to web pages, websites or files. 1 GB data we can store. Lookup wizard, it helps us to create a field whose value are chosen from the values stored in another table, query or list. डिपेंडेंट ऑन द टाइप ऑफ द लुकअप फील्ड, उस फील्ड के अंदर हमने क्या टाइप लिया हुआ है डाटा टाइप्स का. अटैचमेंट, अटैचमेंट इट हेल्प्स इन अटैचिंग इमेजेस. स्प्रेडशीट, कोई भी अटैचमेंट हम यहाँ पर बना सकते हैं फाइल्स की. जैसे हम ईमेल वगैरह करते हैं तब भी हम अटैचमेंट बनाते हैं ना फाइल्स की. अप टू 2 GB डाटा वी कैन अटैच्ड हियर. Calculated, it is used to create a field that specify a value that is calculated from the other data of the same table. Depends on the expressions that uses data from one or more fields. Okay students, many type of data we have and we select the data according to our need and requirement. Setting primary key. Primary key is standard feature of every database management system. It is constraints in the table to check that every record in the table is unique. The field that is designed as the primary key of a table can neither have duplicate data or nor can it be left blank while making a data entry. We have discussed it in previous topic. अब प्राइमरी की के लिए आपके पास है, यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं वी कैन सेट द प्राइमरी की. In the design view, click on the field that you want to set as a primary key. The selected fields will be highlighted. Click on the primary key option in the design tab or right click on the field and select the primary key option in the context menu. Means at the design view we can make a right click on the field name and set it as a primary key. उसको हम primary key जो है वो फील्ड को सेट कर सकते हैं. इन द field will be set as a primary key indicated by a small key symbol in the field selector column. जो हमारा field selector है, जो हमारा field है, field के जो रो है, रो की स्टार्टिंग में ही हमें क्या मिलेगा, वहाँ पर एक की का छोटा सा आइकन जो है वो विजिबल होगा एंड इट इंडिकेट दैट द दिस field has selected for primary key. Click on the close button given on the tab window. Access display a message window remaining you to save the changes. Means we get a message you want to save the changes whatever you have done, and click on yes button. By using this we can set the primary key. So students, we have completed our today's topic. In next topic we will do practical work.